Holy history, Batman! We're here at Camden Yards, but today we're not talking about baseball. We're actually visiting Geppi's Entertainment Museum. We're going to talk to Andy Hirschberger about the history of pop culture and comic books. By the hammer of Thor, let's go.
Geppi's Entertainment Museum was founded by Steve Geppi in 2006. It was based on an idea he had been generating in his head since the early 70s. Him and some of his friends used to hang out at his comic book shop, which used to be under a TV store, and they'd talk about what they'd like to do with their material. And Steve and his friends would often say, you know what would be really great for this stuff? A museum so we could share it, because it's not just us that loves this. Everybody does. And Steve always liked to refer to his comic shop not just as a shop, but as the clubhouse. And so he wanted to make the grandest clubhouse he possibly could for all of his friends and people who love the material to come in and see it in a way that said, we love this material, let's make it look as elegant as possible and yet still as fun as possible.
When you go to Geppi's, you get to explore the evolution of entertainment dating back to the 1800s. You see cultural artifacts from movies, comics, television, and iconic characters. When do you think comics first started?
I believe it started in like the early 1900s.
I would say 1940s.
I don't know.
Way past the 1940s, that's all I can say.
Maybe in the late 1800s? Early 1900s?
How far back does your collection of comics go? Or
About the 1840s, circa 1840s.
Wow, so your collection goes back, over a century and a half. If you ask someone to name a modern superhero, they'd probably name Spider-Man or Batman or Superman. Why? Because they're present in our culture today. There's movies being made, television shows, comics, they're everywhere. But did you know Spider-Man was created in 1962, Batman 1939, Superman 1938, that's a year before World War II. Comics are present in our history. When people come here, is there something you really want them to be able to pull out of their experience when they come here, see the comics, see the displays?
Well, one of the main things we want people to come in and is to feel the intensity of memory, to see all these wonderful things from the past, and not just have a direct experience with it, but engage with it on what it is. See what it's like, enjoy it for what it brought to a certain era. But another thing that we want people to do is just marvel at the differences in time and the similarities.
What draws you to comics, the entertainment community, just you as a fan?
Oh, this one actually started because my dad used to read me Batman comics when I was literally in the crib.
You know, that group of kids who grew up with it, you know, they could relate.
I probably got into them just because I watched a lot of cartoons as a kid.
I first got into comics because just little kid, imagination.
It's cool to go ahead and see everyone's reaction about just the stuff they loved as a kid.
We want people to basically connect. And we feel that we do that because you're connecting with things that you've experienced and you're seeing them in a way that is, again, reverential, and yet you can almost touch them. They're close enough that you can reach out, you can really look at them in a finite way.
Is there more museums like this in the country?
There's like a handful. But I think this is the start of a change. Like we're a part of a new movement where this art, which has influenced generations of people, is now getting museum status.
So you're really almost in a unique opportunity to be able to show this history like very few other museums can.
Yes. If you could have time in the bottle, it would be Geppi's Entertainment Museum.
The Incredible Hulk debuted in 1962. Bruce Banner turned into the Hulk after getting caught in a blast from a gamma bomb. Sounds like your typical superhero creation story, right? But did you know that you can track a culture's history by the entertainment it produces? Next episode on History at Risk, we're going back to Geppi's Entertainment Museum to talk about just that. See you then.